Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Have You Heard? My name's Richard, and as you can see by the title today, we're revisiting Renaissance. And it's been well over a month since we have done Renaissance on the channel, just the once before when we did a trip to the fair, the opening track from Scheherazade and Other Stories. And today we're doing the opening track from Turn of the Cards. You never get this right, that's a bit better. Yes, we're doing Running Hard from Turn of the Cards, which I think was released in 1974. Spotify says November 1973, but my record label says 74, and it's a UK pressing, so I'm pretty sure that it came out in 74, but I might be wrong. Uh, Renaissance, much more popular, I believe, in the USA than in their native UK. I only heard about them. I've told this story before on the trip to the fair video. The night before I emigrated to South Africa, I had a late night radio station on, and they played Trip to the Fair. It was the first time I'd heard Renaissance, and I loved it. And so when I arrived in Durban a few days later, one of the first albums I bought in good old SA was Scheherazade and Other Stories. And then, of course, I went backwards, as one tends to do, and I have done a lot. So anyway, this was one of the albums I bought afterwards, Turn of the Cards, and I think it's probably the one I listen to the most. It's got so many good tracks on, but Running Hard I particularly like, and it has almost zero representation on the reaction channels on YouTube. I can find one reaction. There are a good few videos with various versions, live performances, or else people just uploading the recorded song, but only one reaction I can find, which surprised me quite a lot. So, anyway, let's have a listen to Running Hard. It's brilliant as usual. I'm a big fan of Renaissance, and we'll talk a little bit more about the band and the song afterwards. So, let's throw on the trusty headphones and let's listen. Running Hard, track opener, track number one, album opener, um, from Turn of the Cards. Here we go.
running hard towards what used to be, losing ground in changes, sliding endlessly, reaching out for mirrors hidden in the web, painting lines upon your face inside instead. Sounds so bad, the music's flat on every line. Songs of blackened lace, know you're dying all the time. Sounds so bad, you let the music take your soul. Slipping through the day, lose the only way you know. Running hard towards what used to be, losing ground in changes, sliding endlessly, reaching out for things you want to see, find reflections of insane reality.
Running hard. I love this acoustic.
Running hard towards what used to be, losing ground in changes, sliding endlessly, reaching out for shadows passing through. See the dark around is coming down on you.
9 minutes of utter bliss. That song has so many of my favourite moments of music in it. Okay, not my absolute favourites, but I just love them so much. So many pieces that I can go back to and think, oh, that's magnificent, it's lovely. I mean, it starts off with the opening piano section. Um, John Tout was one of the most underrated keyboard players in progressive rock. And yeah, he was mainly piano and nothing flashy, but he plays beautifully. And that first piece is actually a piece called Litanies, written by a French composer, Jehan Alain. And on Spotify, you can find that piece of music played on a cathedral organ in Auxerre in France. And it's wonderful. And as it moves towards its climax, it gets heavier and heavier, and it sounds like something Keith Emerson should have been playing. It's absolutely a treat to listen to. So that whole section is not a piece written by Renaissance at all. It's litanies by Alain, and then of course the transition moves into the actual song itself. Um, and I mean, the song is called Running Hard, and it just feels like that, doesn't it? There's a sense of propulsion that runs through the entire song. Terence Sullivan's drums and John Camp's bass just propel the song forward all the time. And you can just imagine running to this or watching somebody running in a race or whatever. Um, oh, it really is one of the most energetic, I suppose, Renaissance songs there is. There's an energy that runs through everything. And then you get to Michael Dunford's acoustic guitar part, and suddenly if you feel like the runner has slowed down and has stopped and is maybe catching his or her breath. It's really clever. And then that acoustic guitar that sort of introduces the building climax, with Annie's gorgeous vocals as always. Um, just building up to that climax, and then the orchestration, and it's Jimmy Horowitz who did the orchestral arrangements for the song. And I read up that Renaissance thought the world of him. They thought he was a wonderful sort of partner in crime to work with. A very deft touch, they kept saying. And you can hear on the headphones, every time I listen to it, I hear different things. I was listening to the horns. I picked up percussion towards the end that I hadn't really taken much notice of before. And also you've got in the middle of that little a cappella section where I'm guessing it's just about all of them, all doing that la la kind of a cappella piece that moves into the next instrumental section. It's got everything, this song. And okay, it's long, it's 9.5 minutes. I get why maybe some people don't love it as much as I do. I think it's a quintessential Renaissance song, and it needs to be heard. And I'm very pleased we're doing it on the channel. I hope all the Renaissance fans click onto it and have a listen again to it. Yes, I was saying earlier on, I believe they were much more popular in the States than they were in the UK. And I don't really know. I wasn't listening to Renaissance up to 1975. I must admit I was into the more electric proggier bands, and so didn't hear them. But once I heard them, A Trip to the Fair being the first one, I thought, oh, this is something I can get involved with. Absolutely. And it's a great introduction to classical music for somebody like me who only had a really basic understanding of classical music. I mean, Peter and the Wolf was kind of like the only thing I really knew. But the prog bands, of course, had classical influences. I remember going to see Yes concerts, of course, and they always had the Firebird Suite by Stravinsky, didn't they, as their warm-up piece of music. And of course, I went and bought that because you just had to have something that Yes played. But this was a more immersive introduction, I think, into the joys of the orchestra. Uh, and it's something I've always been thankful for. So well done, Renaissance. They're a gateway, I think, into orchestral music. Um, so there we are. There's my gushing joy, my joyful review of Running Hard by Renaissance. Um, Please shove a comment down below and tell me what you think. What are your favourite Renaissance songs? How did you get into them in the first place? Um, I believe they're reuniting again. Um, Scott on the Prog Corner on YouTube um, did a video a few days ago, and he had Annie Haslam and Jim McCarty, the ex-Yardbird from the original Renaissance. They're getting together and they're doing 4 shows in the USA later this month. So that's something. If you haven't heard of it, Renaissance fans, that's something for you to look up and see whether you can get to those. I'd love to see them over here in the UK. I doubt that that will happen though. Yeah. So please, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Um, Click on the thumbs up like button. I would appreciate that. It helps us get the videos out to more and more people. We have 53 videos in our back catalogue now. So plenty to look back on and visit for the first time if you haven't seen us before here. I would urge you to. Our videos are getting a little bit better now. I'm a bit more comfortable in front of this pesky camera than I was at the beginning. But it's the music that makes me most comfortable. And the response that is growing from the community. Thank you very much to everyone who has commented. I do respond to every single one, and I appreciate everybody taking the time in this busy world to spend a few minutes with us. So thank you, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video, once you've subscribed, of course. Mustn't forget that. I'll see you on the next video, which will be out tomorrow. So until then, bye everybody.